Hi guys, so today we're continuing with our paper, and this is the 2022 supplementary, continuing from the last video. So in the previous video we did the analytical geometry, which is the grade 10 and 11 part. Today we are continuing with the grade 12 part, which involves circles. So I have my question here, question 4. In the diagram, the circle centered at M, which has the coordinates A and B, is drawn, and T and R, T is unknown, R is 6 and 0, are the x-intercepts of the circle. A is the tangent drawn to the circle at K. So now we must approach the questions using analytical geometry but with circles. Okay, first of all, 4.1. Here's my 4.1 here. M is a point on the line y is equal to x plus 1, and we need 4.1.1, we need to write B in terms of A. Okay, this one is quite simple, 1 mark. So what they've given us here, this is 4.1.1. what they've given us is that M, which has the coordinates A and B, is a point on the line y is equal to x plus 1. So A is our x value and then B is our y value. And if you look at our question there, our question says write B in terms of A. So now if we substitute here, the y value will be B, and then x is going to be A plus 1. So B in terms of x is A plus 1. So that was a very simple question worth 1 mark. Let's move to the next question. Calculate the coordinates of M, 5 marks. So now if we look at M here, M is the center of the circle, and this circle has radii. The line from M to K and the line from M to R are radii, and therefore they are equal. So meaning that the distance from M to K and the distance from M to R are equal. So now we can draw up a conclusion and say that this is 4.1.2, because MR is equal to MK, and that is the reason is both of them are radii. Therefore the distance MR, the distance of MR squared is equal to, and we must label our points before we do anything. Let's label our points. So I'm going to label this as 0.2, this is 0.1, this is 0.1. So you remember when we're doing distance formula, we use the formula x2 minus x1 all squared, right? Let me write the distance formula. So distance formula of any line AB is squared is equal to x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. That is the distance formula, right? So now in terms of mr, our m is 0.2 and then our r is 0.1. So now we need to substitute. So 0.2 is going to be a, right? The x value is a, minus, and then 0.1, we are dealing with mr, right? Minus 6 all squared plus b minus 7 or minus 0 all squared. So that is the distance mr, because m is 0.1 and then r is 0.2. Fine. And then now we need to find the distance mk. Now mk squared is equal to, remember, point m is 0.2, so now a minus, and then x of k is 5 all squared plus now we need b, so it's going to be b minus, and then the y value is going to be 7 all squared. And now we can equate these two distances, because we said that both of them are radii and they are equal. So now a minus 6 squared plus b minus 0 squared is equal to a minus 5 squared plus b minus 7 squared. So that is because they are radii. Now what we would know is that we can write b in terms of a. Remember we said b is equal to a plus 1. So now it's going to be a minus 6 squared plus, and then b minus 0 is 0. So now we substitute the value of b, which is a plus 1, a plus 1 minus 0, which is a plus 1 squared, is equal to a minus 5 squared plus, and then b is a plus 1. So now this is going to be what? A plus 1 minus 7 squared. So if we substitute, if we simplify the first bracket here, this is going to be a squared minus 6. In fact, let me just not waste time, because we know our algebra here. So now this is going to be x minus 12a, or a squared minus 12a plus 36, and then over here I'll have a squared plus 2a plus 1 is equal to a squared minus 10a plus 25 plus, and then 1 minus 7 is negative 6, so that would be a squared minus 12a plus 36. So if we add our like terms here, we'll have, so the like terms a squared, if we add a squared and a squared, we are going to get 2a squared. So that would be 2a squared, and then if you add these two like terms, we are going to get plus 10 or minus 10a. So this is minus 10a, because it's negative 12a plus 2a, so it's going to be minus 10a. and then that is 36 plus 1, that will be 37. And then this side also I have a squared, that will be 2a squared, and then I have minus 10a minus 12a, that will be minus 22a, and then 25 plus 36, that's 50, and 61 plus 61. So now we need to solve for a. If we solve for a here, we'll get that if we take 2a to the other side, it becomes negative, and then now it's going to cancel 2a, and then now we have negative 22a. If you take it to the other side, it becomes positive, and then 22a minus 10a here, that would be 12a, is equal to there. Okay, so now I will take 37 to the other side, it becomes negative, and then now 61 minus 37 is going to be 24, and then 12 divided by 12, and then a is going to be 2. So now we have the value of a. We need to find the value of b now. So we said that b is equal to a plus 1. Therefore, b is going to be 2 plus 1, and then which is 3. So the coordinates of m are going to be 2 and 3. So let's just put that into our, so the coordinates are 2 and 3. So that was very easy. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is saying that if the coordinates of m are 2 and 3, calculate the length of the radius of the circle, that is the first, and calculate the length of tr. Okay, so we now know that the coordinates of m are 2 and 3. So we need to find the length of the radius. But we know that we have the equation of a circle, and the equation of a circle, we're now doing 4.2.1. So we know that the equation of a circle is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared, and that's how we can find the length of the radius. Okay, fine. What does it mean? What does this mean? This means that this is the value of x at the center, this is the value of y at the center, and then here we have a point. So this is the x value of a point and the corresponding y value of a point. So now for us to find the value of r is the radius. Now we need the center and one point. So now for us, already we have a coordinate here. We can use any of our two coordinates here. Maybe r, we can use r, and then the center is going to be m, which is 2 and 3. So now the x value of r is 6, right, minus the x value at the center, which is positive 2 squared, plus the y value of r is 0 minus the x value at the center, which is positive 3, all squared is equal to r squared. Now at this point, I'm not expecting any of you to simplify. You just press into your calculator and you'll get that this is 25, which is r squared, and then r is equal to square root both sides, which is 5. So the length of the radius is actually 5. So very simple question, very straightforward. And then we go to calculating the length of t. So when we were doing this, a lot of learners were saying that can't we use t as a point um, that is part of the diameter from k to t, and it look, I cannot disagree, it looks like M, K, and T are forming a diameter, but if it's not included in the information, please don't use or don't assume that K and T are a diameter, therefore TMK passes through the center. So what we need to do here, we need to find the value of, or the coordinates of t. But remember, when you're dealing with anything geometry, you go back to the statement. T and R are x-intercepts. T and R are x-intercepts of the circle. So meaning that at T and R, the y value is 0. So now, let me just indicate that this is 4.2.1. Now 4.2.2, we have the equation of the circle. Remember, x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to, r is 5, and then if we square 5 is 25. We have it already, but now we are told that t is one of the x-intercepts, and at the x-intercept y is 0. So now what we need to do here, we need to substitute y as 0 and solve for the x value of the intercept. So very simple, x minus 2 squared plus y minus, so at the x-intercept y is 0, so this is going to be 0 minus 3 squared is equal to 25. And then if you solve for x here, you'll get that x squared minus 4x plus 4, and then this is 0 minus 3 is negative 3, negative 3 squared is positive 9 is equal to 25, and this is x squared minus 4x, and then 4 plus 9 is 13, and then if we take 25 to the other side of the equal sign, we will get that this 13 is going to be 13 minus 25, which is negative 12, is equal to 0. Then we have to factorize. So this is going to be, we need the factors of x squared minus 4x minus 12, and we get that the factors here are going to be negative 6 and positive 2, and then x is going to be 6 or x is going to be -2. And because already we have the other x value, which is r, and the x value is 6, so meaning that the x value at t is going to be -2. So meaning that now at t we have a -2 and 0. So very simple. The next question: determine the equation of the tangent to the circle at K. Write your answer in the form y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, so now we need to find the equation of the tangent. Now a tangent is a straight line. 4.3, the tangent is a straight line, right? And it has the equation y is equal to mx plus c, and m is the gradient, and then c is the y-intercept. So now what we need to do is first find the gradient of m, but we know of k, of the tangent at k, right? So but we know that the equation of a gradient is m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? And meaning that for us to calculate a gradient we need 2 points, point 1 and point 2. But now we don't have 2 points on the line. We don't have 2 points on the line. And the only thing that we have here is that the radius is intersecting with the tangent. And a theorem that we learned about in grade 11 is that the radius is always perpendicular to the tangent. So now meaning that we have two lines that are perpendicular to each other. And if we have lines that are perpendicular to each other, the product of those two, of the gradients of the two lines, is -1. So meaning that the gradient of the tangent multiplied by the gradient of the radius is equal to -1. So we don't necessarily need to calculate the gradient of the tangent using 2 points. What we need to do is to find the gradient of the radius, because we have 2 points on the radius. We have point M and we have point K. So now M of the radius is equal to y2 minus y1. And you remember we said M is going to be 0.2 and then K is going to be 0.1. So now M is 0.2. So y2 is 3 minus, and then y1, the y value of K is going to be 7. So minus 7 over, and then x2 is 2 minus minus 5. It's 5. And if you press into your calculator, you'll find that the gradient is going to be 4/3. So here's 4/3. So the gradient of the radius is 4/3. And now we need to find the gradient of the tangent. Okay, fine. So we said that the product of the two gradients is -1. So the gradient of the tangent multiplied by the gradient of the radius, which is 4/3, is equal to -1. Divide both sides by 4/3, divide by 4/3, and the gradient of the tangent is equal to -3/4. Okay, so now we have done something. Now we have the gradient is -3/4 x plus c. So we need c, and we have the coordinate. We have the coordinate k, which is 5 and 7. So we can substitute y as 7, and we have what? We have -3/4. So it's -3/4 x plus c. And then for x, we are going to substitute the x value, which is 5. So here's 5, and then we can solve for c. So if we solve for c, we are going to multiply this and take it to the other side. So if you multiply -3/4, is going to be 15/4, and then subtract 15/4 from 7. So because it's negative, so what we are going to do is going to 7 plus, and then this thing here is 3/4. -3/4 times 5 is going to be 15/4, but now going to the other side is going to be positive, so it's 15/4 is equal to c. So c is going to be 7 plus 15/4, and 7 plus 15/4 is going to be 43/4. Okay, so far we have done 4.3. 4.4. A horizontal line is drawn as a tangent to the circle at M, or with the circle. A horizontal line is drawn as a tangent to the circle M, right, at the point N, and the point N is unknown. It has the coordinates C and D, where D is greater than 0. And now we need to write the coordinates of N. D is less than 0. Sorry for that. So meaning it's below the x-axis, and D is the y value, right? So write down the coordinates of N. Okay, quite a peculiar setting. Let's look at what this means. The line is horizontal. It's horizontal. So meaning that it's a straight line. It's a straight line, and it's horizontal like this, right? And the point N has a negative y value. Okay, so it seems like the point N is a tangent, right? And it touches the circle at one point. So here's my tangent like this. So we have the point N somewhere here. This is the point N here. And if you look at it, the point N is going to have a negative y value. Remember, D is less than 0. So now, how can we have a point? How can we find the point N if now the tangent is horizontal, and anything that is horizontal is going to be perpendicular to the y-axis? It's going to be perpendicular to any given vertical line. So now, if we have the point N and it is horizontal, if we join it with the radius, it's going to be perpendicular to the radius, obviously. And any horizontal line that is perpendicular to the vertical line, the vertical line is going to have the same x value throughout. So meaning that the x for n is going to be 2. So the x value is 2 because it is vertical. So the radius is vertical because the radius has to be perpendicular to the horizontal line. And then for the y value, we said that the radius is 5 units. And from negative or from positive 3, so we have our value here. Our y value is positive 3. And we need to move 5 units down in order for us to find the y value of n. So negative 3, negative 2, and positive 3, positive 2, positive 1, and then 0. So we've moved 3 units, and then 4, 5. So now we are going to move from 0 to negative 1 and negative 2. So the y value is going to be negative 2. So that is how we find the y value of n. We know that the radius is perpendicular to the tangent, and the tangent is horizontal, so meaning we need to draw a vertical line, and a vertical line has the same x value throughout, so meaning that the x value of the center is the x value of n. And now because it's vertical, the radius is 5 units, and from m to n we need to move 5 units. And if you move 5 units vertically from negative 3, and you move 5, or from positive 3 you move 5 units down, you're going to go to negative 2. So I hope that one is clear. Fine. The next question: determine the equation of the circle centered n. So now n is going to be the center of the new circle, right? Passing through T, and write your answer in the form y is equal to standard form of a circle, right? Okay. So let me just write the points here. We have the center. The center is n, which is 2 and negative 2. That is the center. And the circle is passing through T. We found that T is negative 2 and 0. So it's passing through T. T is negative 2 and 0. Fine. Standard form of a circle: x minus a, squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. Okay, fine. So we need to substitute both points so that we can find our radius here. So fine, I have the point negative 2, which is t, right? Minus a is going to be 2, that is the center, right? Plus y is 0 minus, and then the y of the center is negative 2 is equal to r squared. From this point, press a calculate. So just press the calculate, and then you get that r squared is equal to 20. And then now you can re-substitute x minus the x value of the center is 2 squared plus y, and then minus the y value at the center is going to be -2. So negative times negative is positive, so it's plus 2 squared is equal to, and then r squared is 20, and then that is the formula for the new circle. So yeah, quite an easy question, lots of free marks. Yeah, but we need lots of thinking. So let's just recap. On what we have done here so far. Let me just, okay, fine. So for 4.1, that one was easy. We were given that m passes through the line y is equal to x plus 1, and we needed to write b in terms of a, and then we just substitute y is b, and then x is a, and then b is going to be x plus 1. For the second question, calculate the coordinates of m, and we said that mk and mr are radii, and therefore they are equal, so meaning that the distances are going to be equal, and we use distance formula for us to find the coordinates of the center, because the distance mr is equal to the distance mk, and then we equated the distances, we solved for a, and then we solved for b. 4.2, we're given that the coordinates, right, in case you had difficulties to find the coordinates of m, we needed to calculate the length of the radius. So the length of the radius, we are going to substitute into our equation, right? So we had our equation here, we substituted the center, we substituted one of the points, and then we found that the radius is r. For us to find t was said to be one of the x-intercepts of the circle, and we needed to substitute y as 0, and there is our t, which is -2 and 0. 4.3, we needed to determine the equation of the tangent to the circle at k. So the tangent is a line, meaning it has the equation y is equal to mx plus c. And for us to find the gradient, we need 2 points, but we don't have 2 points, we only have 1 point on the tangent. So we know that the tangent is perpendicular to the radius, and the product of the gradients of perpendicular lines are -1. So now we can find the gradient of the radius, and because we have 2 points on the radius, we have m and k, so we can find the gradient of the radius. And after finding the gradient of the radius, we can find the gradient of the tangent, and then after finding the gradient of the tangent, we can substitute the point k because it's the point on the line, right? And after finding, then you can solve for c, and then oh, and we didn't write it in full. So because c is 43/4, now the equation is going to be y is equal to, the gradient of the tangent is -3/4 x plus 43/4. Yeah, and please don't make that mistake because it's worth a mark. So you need to write the equation in full. Fine. The next question, we were told that a horizontal line is drawn, and that horizontal line is the tangent to the circle at M, and at the point N, where the y value of N is negative. So now we ended up saying that, okay, this is going to be a horizontal line, and if this horizontal line touches the circle at one point, then it means that the horizontal line is going to be perpendicular to the radius, so the radius is going to be vertical. And if the radius is vertical, then n is going to have the same x value as the center. And because the radius is 5, we are going to move 5 units downwards from the center. And the center is at the value of 3, the y value of 3. And we're going to move 5 units downwards up until n. And we get that n is going to be 2 and -2. So that is it for me now. Remember, guys, to like and comment and share the videos and subscribe. And I'm liking the positive feedback I can get. I can see that lately I've been getting a lot of views, but please, I've seen that 50% of the people viewing the content are not subscribers. So please, guys, just like the video and comment for future reference if there's anything that I need to fix, and also subscribe. Just press the subscription button. It won't hurt you. So yeah, that is it from me. I'll see you in the next video, and we are continuing with the same question paper and doing trigonometry. Bye from me.